Most people rate their own harmfulness as below average. Think about that for a second. Statistically, that is impossible. If everyone believes they are less toxic than the average person, then the math simply does not work. This is not dishonesty. This is a blind spot, a glitch in how we see ourselves. And neuroscience is starting to explain why you can genuinely believe you are a good person while the people around you quietly pull away. The answer is not about your character. It is about how your brain processes threats you cannot even see anymore. Picture this. You come home from work drained. Your partner asks how your day went. You reply with a single word. Fine. The tone is flat. The energy is cold. You do not mean to hurt them. You are just tired. But to your partner, that clipped response feels like a door slammed in their face. Or imagine you are helping your child with homework. They ask a question. You sigh heavily, roll your eyes. Maybe you snap. I already explained this. You are not trying to shut them down. You are overwhelmed. But in that moment, your child learns that asking you for help is not safe. Or think about work. A colleague suggests a change to your project. Your voice sharpens. Your posture goes rigid. You did not plan to get defensive. It just happened. And now the room feels tense. None of these moments started with malice. You did not wake up and decide to be toxic. But the impact on the other person is real. And here is the uncomfortable truth. If this keeps happening, you might be the common denominator. Not them, you. The science behind this is surprisingly simple. Toxic behavior does not come from evil intent. It comes from unresolved thought. Specifically, it comes from a meaning you assign to a past event under extreme stress. That meaning becomes a filter, a lens, and every time something similar happens, your brain uses that old filter to interpret the new situation. The problem is that the filter was created when you were scared or hurt or cornered. It was never meant to be a permanent rule. But your brain does not know that. It just sees a pattern and runs the same response over and over again. Neuroscientists call this a triggered neural pathway. Here's how it works. Something happens in your present. Your partner asks a simple question. Your boss gives feedback. Your kid needs attention. That event resembles something painful from your past. Maybe not exactly, just similar enough. Your amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for survival, recognizes the pattern in about 200 milliseconds. That is a fraction of a second, faster than you can think. And it fires the old response, the one that kept you safe back then, the clipped tone, the dismissive expression, the defensive posture. All of it happens before your rational mind even shows up. The gap between the trigger and your reaction is so narrow that there is zero room for choice. You are not deciding to be toxic. You are reacting to a ghost. To fix this, you need to understand where the filter came from. Every toxic reaction you have today is connected to a specific moment in your past when you assigned meaning under duress. Maybe you were a kid and you asked for help and got yelled at. Your brain decided that asking for help equals danger. So now, when someone asks you for help, your nervous system interprets it as a threat. You get irritable. You shut down. You snap. Or maybe you shared an idea once and got humiliated. Your brain labeled vulnerability as unsafe. So now, when someone questions your work, it does not feel like feedback. It feels like an attack. And you defend yourself like your life depends on it. The original event might have been decades ago, but the meaning you created that day is still running your behavior right now. Here is the structural problem. Your brain is designed to keep you alive, not to keep you kind. When it detects a threat, real or imagined, it prioritizes your survival over your values. It does not care that you want to be patient with your kid. It does not care that you want to collaborate at work. It just sees danger and reacts. And because the reaction happens so fast, it feels automatic, like it is just who you are. But it is not. It is a learned pattern. And learned patterns can be unlearned. The first step is to locate your trigger. Pay attention to your body. When do you feel your chest tighten? When does your jaw clench? When do your shoulders go up? These physical signals show up before your mind is even aware you have been triggered. They are your early warning system. Once you notice the pattern, ask yourself this question. When was the very first time I felt this way? Not the most recent time, the first time. That memory holds the original meaning, the rule your brain has been following ever since. Maybe it was a specific argument with a parent, a moment of rejection in school, a time you felt powerless or ashamed. Whatever it was, that event taught your brain a lesson, and your brain has been protecting you from that pain ever since by avoiding anything that feels similar. The second step is to trace the reaction back to that original assignment. This is where it gets uncomfortable. You have to look at that old memory and see it clearly, not to relive the pain, but to understand what meaning you gave it. Did you decide that being questioned means you are not good enough? Did you decide that needing help makes you weak? Did you decide that showing emotion gets you hurt? These meanings made sense at the time. They were survival strategies. But they are not true anymore, and they are poisoning your present relationships. The third step is to deliberately update the meaning before the pattern fires again. This is the hardest part. You have to catch yourself in the moment, right when you feel the urge to snap or shut down or defend. That split second is your only window of power, and in that moment, you have to pause. Even 1 second is enough. Take a breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Ask yourself a different question. What else could this mean? Could your partner be asking about your day because they miss you, not because they are interrogating you? Could your child be asking for help because they trust you, not because they think you are incompetent? Could your colleague be offering feedback because they care about the project, not because they want to undermine you? This is not about convincing yourself everything is fine. It is about creating space for a different interpretation, one that does not come from an old wound. The fourth step is to practice the new response. Neuroplasticity is real. Your brain can build new pathways, but only if you use them. So the next time you feel triggered, choose a different action. Instead of a clipped reply, say something warmer. I am really tired right now, but I want to hear about your day. Give me 5 minutes. Instead of sighing at your kid, pause and soften your tone. I know this is frustrating. Let me try explaining it a different way. Instead of getting defensive at work, take a breath and say something like, I appreciate the feedback. Let me think about that. It will feel awkward at first. It will feel fake. That is normal. You are interrupting a pattern that has been running for years. But every time you choose the new response, you weaken the old pathway and strengthen the new one. The fifth step is to repair when you mess up. Because you will mess up. Everyone does. Healthy people are not perfect. They just notice faster. And they take specific ownership, not a vague apology, a clear one. I got defensive when you questioned me. That was not fair. I am working on it. That kind of repair rebuilds trust. It shows the other person that you see the impact of your behavior, and it shows them that you are actively trying to change. Here is what most people miss. You can have good intentions and still make someone feel unsafe. Because your brain is not reacting to what is happening now, it is reacting to what happened then, and the person in front of you is paying the price for a wound they did not cause. That is the definition of toxic behavior. Not malice, not cruelty, just unresolved pain firing in the wrong direction. The truth is that most of us are walking around with filters we do not even know we have. Lenses shaped by fear or shame or powerlessness. And those lenses distort everything. They turn a neutral question into an attack, a request for help into a burden, a moment of vulnerability into a threat. And until you identify the lens and update it, you will keep reacting to ghosts. You will keep hurting people you love, and you will keep wondering why your relationships feel so hard. The good news is that this is a structural problem, not a moral one. You are not broken. You are not a bad person. Your brain is just running outdated software, and software can be updated. It takes time. It takes honesty. It takes the willingness to sit with uncomfortable truths about yourself. But it works. Because the moment you realize you are the common denominator, you also realize you have the power to change the pattern. You are not at the mercy of your past anymore. You are not stuck being the person who snaps or shuts down or defends. You can choose a different response. Not perfectly, not every time, but more often. And that is enough. So, if you have ever felt the gap between who you want to be and how you actually show up, this is your answer. Locate the trigger. Trace it to the original meaning. Update the meaning before the pattern fires. Practice the new response. Repair when you fail. That is it. 5 steps. Not easy, but simple. And the alternative is staying stuck in a cycle where you keep pushing people away and blaming them for leaving.
Which one surprised you most? Drop your thoughts in the comments.